Hey guys, I am back. Welcome to Humpday Lunch Hour with me, Alexis. Like I know I said that I promised that I was gonna do one in Hawaii. I shouldn't have done that because I tried to film it and it was just really hard because there was a lot of noise and the kids were running around in the hotel. When I mean kids, my brothers, let's see, there was also just like, we had a lot the hotel just wasn't quiet enough. I couldn't find a quiet spot. Like, my vlogs are nice because you can hear like the ocean and whatever, but like I couldn't actually like have like enough time to like have my lunch, sit down, and then talk about something because there was just not enough time. And my parents were like, we gotta go. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I was on a trip with my family in Hawaii, and we had a really good time. And so, but this is going to be part of what I was talking about. If you did watch my vlogs, I wanted to talk about my family vacation, and that's actually the topic today for Hump Day Lunch Hour. I had Taco Bell today because I needed something really quick because I've been feeling kind of shitty since I got back. I think that's mostly just because of weather change, time change. I'm jet lagged, and I worked 2 jobs, and instead of resting, when I flew back Sunday, got home at like 7 a.m., slept for like an hour and a half, and then went to WonderCon for the rest of the day, and I was exhausted. So, and then I had work the next day, which was literally I had both jobs. So I worked from the morning, and then I worked late at night on that day. So I think my body's just kind of like, what are you doing? But I'm gonna make this short so that I can get back to work. But family vacations. So the funny thing is, my family and I haven't gone on a family vacation for, at least including me, I think 2 years now. So, and since my brother got accepted into the University of Hawaii, we wanted to take a tour of the campus. We have family out there. We just, thought we'd try it. So, I noticed that family vacations have always been different. I don't know if you guys remember it when you guys were younger, or if you're still doing it now or anything. It's kind of not the same. The middle brother, who's going to college now, and the age that I am, is obviously there's a bit of a gap there. So him and I have never really been super close. And then the youngest brother, who's only 2 years younger than the middle child, also, him and I were kind of close, especially when we were young, or when he was really little. But as time went on, when I decided to move out of the house and start doing other things without my family, which is, what you're supposed to do when you grow up, I noticed that there was a very giant distance between how close my brother and I were, both of them actually. But I was never really worried because there was already a gap there, and if let's say if I did get married or I had kids or whatever, it would be the same ordeal. So I try my best to try to keep up with them as much as I can, but it's also not to point out anybody who's like in that generation or anything who does watch my vlogs. There's something wrong with you guys. I just noticed that we are completely different people, meaning that, their generation or the younger generation is into a lot of different things that I do not understand. And it was probably the same way when I was their age, and people who were older than me were like, I don't understand this generation, because you kind of never do. But I noticed that my family was more annoyed on this trip than the last one I was on, which was 2 years ago. So in short, it pretty much meant that a lot of things that, like if you were in my age or the years before, we always had a saying, right? You had like the bomb or epic or something like that we used to overuse all the time. I guess now this generation has lit and turned up and all that kind of stuff. My parents were very annoyed at that my brothers thought everything was lit. You know what I mean? Like with me, I think the one thing I used all the time was epic. Everything was epic. So here, everything is lit. If you don't know what lit means, it pretty much means cool, awesome. Like, that's really cool. I think there was another thing that my brothers taught me. It was called fitted. They told me it was when someone's outfit was looking really good. You say, oh, that person's fitted. I think, I don't know if I got that one wrong, but that's what I think I remember them telling me. And I was just like, wow, this is different. So it was very interesting to learn, and I think it was just getting on my parents' nerves because the fact of just, they didn't really want to do anything. Because when you think, oh, when you go on a family vacation, your parents want to do a bunch of stuff, the kids want to do a bunch of stuff, and you have to try to fit it in a small amount of time. But our family vacation was my dad and my mom wanted to do a lot of things as a family, but the kids just weren't having it. They kind of just wanted to stay in the hotel and kind of like play sports because that's what they're into right now. Christopher's into basketball, Matt's into volleyball and tennis. So that's all they kind of really wanted to do was hang around the hotel itself. Like not in the room specifically. There were times where they wanted to do that, but a majority of them just wanted to just stay within the hotel instead of getting in a car and driving somewhere in Hawaii. And it happened a lot. And, you know, my parents spent a lot of money. I'm not going to say how much. But they spent a lot of money for us to be here so that we can, you know, do stuff in Hawaii that most tourists would do, or people that you know, just that kind of whole ordeal. And I felt really bad, you know, because you know, my parents are trying to do this one last hurrah because, again, Christopher's going to college for the first time. I'm probably going to be leaving to do other adult things later on in the future. Like I said, either get married or have kids, and I might want to move out of California. Maybe I won't. Like, it's mostly just the fact that we might not all be together to do a big trip again in, you know, in the years to come. And also because the fact that now, you know, I have my loans to pay off from college, and now we have another one starting. And then in 2 years, Matthew's going to be on the same boat. So it's mostly just trying to save money. But it was so crazy how grumpy my parents were the entire time, because usually, like, you have, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed now that you're a little older how, like, your parents get really grumpy at a family vacation. But it's also just, I can see why, because you're thinking of all the money you're spending and standing in line at rides and stuff, like if you're going to Disney World or something of that nature. And just, it's crazy. And I understood why my dad was grumpy. It just kind of sucked because his vibe would kind of trickle into like my mom's mood, and then my mood, and then the kids as well. The kids were also being really rowdy because they were like playing the music really loud in the hotel. And, you know, so it's just kind of crazy to me how it went from us having a good time and taking pictures and doing all these crazy things to kind of going our separate ways, which is funny because a good friend of mine, his name's Trung, he was telling me that since all his brothers and sisters in his family, they're all much older, you know, that they usually separate when they go, like if they all go on a trip together, you know, he drops his bags and he's like, all right, deuces, I'm out. And then, you know, they kind of all separated. But in my brain, I was like, oh, my family would never do that. And we did during this trip. I'll have a Hawaii roundup vlog sometime, probably on Friday or sometime this week. But has your family ever done that? Like, what are family vacations to you guys? Like, do you guys travel a lot? Is it more like camping? Is it, you know, or is it like going on a cruise or something like that? Because, like, my family and I have always done mostly small things, like going to Yosemite, or maybe going to, well, Vegas is more for them than anything, but, you know, whatever. You know, driving to a beach and, like, renting out a beach house for a little bit or something like that. And then, obviously, we had big trips, which meant, like, going to Hawaii and things like that. And, you know, and I feel bad that that's it. You know, like, we're never going to have another family vacation, but I'm okay with it because the fact that it was just really terrible. Not, like, in general. Like, I had a really good time. My mom and I actually bonded, which is never a thing. Like, we just don't get along, but we got along the entire trip, which is absolutely mind-blowing. But just having all 5 of us in a hotel room for 8 days was enough to drive everybody crazy, to the point where there was arguments and yelling and things being thrown and people getting upset, and there was tears, and it was crazy. And the fact that literally my parents were like, we're never doing this again, is crazy. So I don't know if that's just me. I know I've said the word crazy like 8 times, but, like, it's nuts to me because I see people who, like, fly to go see family and then they do a bunch of stuff and then they come back, they're like, oh, I had a really good time, but I'm really glad I'm not living there anymore. Is it like that with you guys when you go see family, or if you're gonna do a giant trip with your family? Like, how is that for you guys? I just want to know, because I always love hearing people's different family vacation or family stories, because it's always either one aspect or the other, where it's like, oh, it was really great, I had a good time, I missed my family, I really didn't want to leave, or, oh, I did have a good time, but I'm really glad I'm not living there because it was horrendous, or something like that. You know, just what do you have a favorite memory of a family vacation when you were younger compared to, like, maybe the last time you guys went, whenever, if you're older now? Or do you just have just a really great memory and you just want to latch on to that? Because I know mine was Disney World for sure. It was hot, it was humid, it was terrible, but my parents always made it memorable for all 3 of us, and was able to get all of our interests into one thing, since we are all so different. Like, all 3 of us are completely different. I'm the nerd, Christopher's the brain, and Matt's kind of the just annoying little shit. Like, I love him, don't get me wrong, he's a really good kid, but he was just, he was just kind of a brat about everything. He would rather shop and instead of actually seeing sights, which kind of made me really sad. But, you know, I don't really know what's going on in that kid's brain, but maybe it'll be different. I have no idea. They are just teenagers. They're 14 and 17, so maybe it'll change. I don't know. But yeah, go ahead and put in the comments below or tweet me. Use that hashtag HumpDayVlog, HumpDay Lunch Hour, not HumpDay Vlog, sorry, HumpDay Lunch Hour, and I'll go ahead and read it off on the next one. But I really love all the comments you guys have been doing. Thanks again if you have been watching my vlogs. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get everything out there and stuff. So I'll see you guys, I think next week. I'm going to be doing a Batman vs. Superman review because I did see it. I know a lot of people have been asking my opinion and I haven't had a chance to be on the DC show to talk about it. So it'll come up. But anyway, I'll see you guys later because I have to get back to work. Again, get in those comments section and let me know what you're thinking. Bye.